I guess it all started from when I was a little kid. I used to love painting, and I spent a lot of time looking at things, and I realised later on in life that actually it is all about looking, but it's also about imagination. And it took me probably 20 years to realise that I was a terrible painter. So you know, once I knew that I was a terrible painter and I came to terms with it, I recognised that I had this desire for art and love for it. And it wasn't about how good you were, it was about how passionate you were. Light, well, it was the realisation, because I think a lot, and I really worked out that light was a medium that started everything. I mean, there's something really beautiful about, you know, light is an ephemeral medium. You know, you flick a switch and it's on, you flick it back and it's off. It doesn't hurt anything. It's got that wonderful, it's a sort of like ghostly, spiritual quality about it. And actually, when I was looking at painting and in love with painting, I realised I was in love with light, because actually painting is about light. All these things sort of just came into my mind and made sense. So I was passionate about using light to really discover what the world was about. I mean, I use light to find out about what life's about, rather than, and to express ideas and feelings. So I started learning about light, and what I realised that this was fairly early on, that most people that were involved with light, I'm talking more commercially, were sort of engineers and technicians, and they didn't see it for the emotional qualities. And now I was ridiculously ill-prepared, unqualified in one sense, because I didn't have the technical side, but what I did have was this understanding about the emotional side. So it was very simple. I just applied my instinct about the emotional opportunities with light, and then I went and learnt about the technical side. And you can ask, you know, there are some brilliant technicians, lots of companies where you can actually go and ask them and say, how does that work? You know, the technical bits, well, I wouldn't say the easy bit, but it's the bit everybody can learn. The bit that maybe not everybody has is a sensitivity towards it, and maybe that's just one bit of luck that I had. I did have a sensitivity to it. There are lots of stories one wants to tell, because life's about that, and I have sort of quite a eclectic imagination, and you know, so I'm interested in technical things, I'm interested in music, I'm interested in language, and I'm interested in trying to understand myself, you know, and what life's about. When I decided that I was going to give this a real shot, I thought it's got to have meaning, and it's got to be more than a vanity project. You know, it's not about that. I didn't want it to be that. I wanted to understand what connection was, and this sounds a bit cliche, but I believe that the things that I can do is an opportunity for me to connect with other people, the feelings of when I was incredibly connected with the world. A lot of the pieces that I love doing are to do with moments of time where I go back to a memory, and I'm not trying to recreate that memory, I'm just trying to extract the feeling of happiness that I had at that moment. And they're simple ideas, really. I'm not trying to overlay it with deep and meaningful things. All I'm trying to say is this is more of a feeling of joy when I was doing something, and it could have been with my kids, it could have been when I was a kid, it could have been anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Then a narrative grows, you know, and I have great fun trying to bring that narrative into, and it sort of changes. That you use interesting materials, ideas, it all comes together, and then you deliver that, and hopefully it has its own song. If you see somebody smiling and it makes their day a better day, I reckon that's a pretty strong thumbs up for me, you know. The other thing is I'm trying to show people that art is experiential. It's something that you can get involved with. None of the work that I do is down to one person. It's not down to me. Yes, I do have the ideas and I conceive these things, but I have a team of people, very talented young people who help on the installations, help on the technical design. We have the people, the clients who have the venues like Atlanta Botanical. What an amazing opportunity. The sponsors. So I am just a small bit of a big cake, and that's all. And we're all like that. You know, everybody has a role to play. And actually, I love making that sort of inclusive art.